Hello, welcome back to another one of my tutorial video, and today we will focus on 6.5. So in front of me here is the cheat sheet. I want you to focus on this right here. 6.5 max 6-inch crease, okay, and then you can see there's a big leap between what is allowable in a 6.5 and a 7.0 2-inch crease. So anywhere between larger than a 2-inch crease and less than a 6-inch crease leave a lot of room for interpretation. Okay, so this is perhaps the trickiest of the grade in my opinion, because there are such a big leap in the flaws. Okay, first example. This one here is perhaps one that is closest to a 7 instead of a 6.5, and it's a good starting point. Look at this book. The corner is slightly soft. The spine is actually fairly decent, as you can see. There are some slight distribution ink right here. Purplish, not a big deal. And then the top corner have a slight 1/4-inch crease right here. Not a big deal. Okay, so why is this a 6.5 or 7.0 max? Perhaps you can see the crease right there. Okay, so the crease starts somewhere right there, right at the bottom of the castle, and it runs all the way up. So you're looking at the crease. If I span out, it's a good 4.5 inch long. Okay, I didn't measure it, but it's just my eyeball telling me it's about 4 inch to 4.5 inch. Okay, and if you look at the crease, it's barely visible. Okay, in certain area, like between the castle and here, it's not visible at all. Yeah, it's more visible in hand. Okay, at certain angle, as you can see right there. So on any given day, you look at the back cover of this book, nothing major. Okay, this was the very first copy of Tomb of Dracula that I had bought long ago, as you can see. So if you look at this scale right here, it definitely falls between a 6.5 and a 7. If I was to sell this, I would have no problem listing this book as a 6.5. I would not list it as a 7, but on any given day, depend on how the grader feel about the deep crease right here, depend on how they view how light or how deep it is. They can give this a 7 or 6.5. Okay, it's too bad because the rest of the book is fairly nice, but this would be about as solid and strong of a 6.5 as you're gonna find. Okay, next up is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friend. Now this book just have a very general wear overall. You can see the edge, just a lot of bends. Okay, a lot of dimples, slight crease there. Not a big deal, not very deep, but it's a couple of the corner crease right there. But that's it. What makes this book a 6.5 with all the flaw you see there on the edge is just a general wear. Once you put the book up in the light, okay, you can see there's lots of flaws on the spine. Okay, a lot of them. Big one. And then if you look at the back cover, they are fluxing. See, this right here is foxing, and at this level of grades, the foxing that you see here and here have no real impact on the grades. Okay, once you are in the mid-grade level, foxing doesn't really hurt the grade that much unless it's extremely bad. And you know, I have seen cases that is much worse in books that are in the 5 or 6 level. Okay, here we go. As you can see, there are lots of little flaws, slight creases here and there. There's a fairly big crease right there. Okay, maybe about 2 inches. And then there's a bend right here, you can see. And there's a little foot stain or something right there. Not a big deal. And last but not least, is like a 1/2 inch bend right there at the corner. So even though there are no really big major flaws, just the cumulative amount of wear on the edges, on the spine, and then on the back cover, you know, this is a 6.5 in my opinion. It just have just too much wear, too much flaws for me to give it a 7. Okay, especially when you have this big ding right there at the spine, and then you know all the little creases. It's just too many. But it's a solid 6.5. Next we have X-Men 35. Small 1/4 inch corner crease there. Okay, so far so good. There's a good, I would say about 3/4 inch crease right here. The spine of this book is actually very good. There's, you know, 1 or 2 dings here and there. That's 2. Okay, as far as spine ding, you can see 1, 2, 3, very minor, you know, perhaps 4, but overall the spine and even the flaw that you see here, you know, can easily give this book, you know, an 8.5 or at least an 8.0. The back cover is very clean, sharp. Nothing's wrong with the back cover. So why is this a 6.5? First, there's a little bend right here. Okay, a little reading crease right here, barely visible, and there's another one right here. But even that is not bad. That's, you know, allowable in an 8.0 range. Here is what knocked it down. There you go. You see that? There's a crease that run all the way up to the chest of Cyclops. In case you missed it, you go all the way from the bottom all the way to the chest of Cyclops. So it's like about right here. Once again, it's about, you know, 4 inch or so. But counting this crease right here along with the tiny flaws here and the corners and up there, 6.5. Okay, it's too bad. Beautiful book. Otherwise, books out of the bags. This is one of my favorite Silver Age X-Men cover. I love the deep red, and the drawing by Kirby is really, really beautiful. Okay, this book, as you can see, have some flaws right there on the edge. Small corner crease right here. A couple little small crease there, not a big deal. Here you go, you have like a couple little tear and about an inch long, inch and a half long of the crease on the overhang. The spine of this book is beautiful. It's a shame, but you can see there's like a inch long scratch right here, and then there's a couple stress line right here. Okay, minor, but it's there. The biggest problem with this book is right here. You can see it. It's a 3-inch crease right across the top, across the X toward the angel's face. So right there, about 3 inches. Okay, at a certain angle, it look a lot much more visible. As you can see right there, it actually go all the way through to his neck. So it's at least 3 inches, most likely around 3¼ inches. And in the back, as you can see, it's pretty good. There's a slight bend right here. Okay, that's just a bend, not really a crease, not a big deal. Beautiful. The back cover is really clean and nice, but it's too bad that we have this long crease right here, and then take into account all the little soft corners, okay, that we have here, and that little scratch right there. I think that's a flaw and not the art. Regardless, even if this little line here that does not go toward the 12 cents, even if that's not there, just the rest of the flaws for me is too much for to be a 7. So it's a very solid, strong 6.5. Okay. Next, X-Men 13. Rounded corner. The spine is decent, okay. There's 3 or 4 spine ticked, okay. Here's a little more ½ inch crease, little overhang flaws here, very typical of Silver Age marble. And in the corner, that's not bad. Just a little missing piece there that could be production related. It's not a big deal. Then you have the sun shadow on the edge of the book, okay? Not a big deal. If you look at the front of the book as it right now, certainly this look a lot nicer than a 6.5. You know, it might be at least 7.5, maybe even an 8.0, maybe not a pretty looking 8.0, but definitely not a 6.5, okay? But why is it a 6.5? Let me show you why. Okay, hopefully it will show up. There are 3 creases. Okay, there's one that go fairly deep right here. You can see it's one right there. These are, you know, what I call reading creases. This is, you know, years ago when someone fold the back cover around to hold the book. That's what happened. So there's a good 3-inch here, and then there's 2 more. There's a total of 3 creases. One is fairly obvious. It's a light creases that, you know, that run deeper down here, but it doesn't break the fiber of the paper. But once you get to this point here, about 3 inches away, it starts to be pretty bad. And then you see 1, 2 more scratches that is about 1 to 2 inches in length. Okay, here you go again. Typical production chip cut off at the corner. Okay, so this is why this is a 6.5, just because of this long creases here, you know. It's too bad because the rest of the book is quite nice. I think maybe it's more visible on the back cover. Hard to tell. There, you can see it. So there you go. That's another very solid 6.5. Okay. Who knows? You know, depending on what the greater view of those flaws on the back, they might give it a 7, but definitely no more than a 7. Nick Fury #1. chims the wrinkle. Okay, let's see. Pretty decent corner. A little thumb crease here. 2 actually, not a big deal. Okay, it's small enough. That's about 3/4 of an inch. It has a problem right there. There's a 1/2 inch and perhaps almost an inch long crease right there, and then you have a good 1.5 inches, if not almost 1.75 inches. Okay, where the overhang is. So with this flaw right here, right there at the top corner, and then the cumulative flaws on the edge of the overhang, okay, does not look pretty. Does not look pretty at all. And then of course you have the slight wear on the edge here. It's not a big deal. It's allowable in this mid-grade range. So what hurt the book the most is the very big creases right here and there, and then the overall flaws of the top edge. And then you have the spine ding. You get some very big spine ding. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. It's a dozen very visible big spine stress. So even though the back cover is clean and free of any major flaws, you can see why this book is a 6.5. It's just too much problem at the spine and then the top edge. When 2 of your edges are fairly flawed in a moderate range, it's tough to be higher than a 6.5. Okay.